Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to League Racing TV here for round number 7 of the TTML Formula 3 Championship. We take in the Australian Grand Prix for Albert Park here in round number 7. But before we get into that, my name is Ivor Bryn Mike, going to be taking you through the action. And tonight I am joined alongside my co-com, and it's not Cadwell this week. It's not Cadwell. Instead, it's going to be someone who is going to confuse everyone's names because my name is Ivor, but I have been joined tonight by Ivan. How's it going, Ivan?
Well, it's going good for me, Ivor, and hopefully it does go well for you and for everyone on the stream. As you said, we are going to race around Albert Park, well, technically around the streets of Melbourne, and yeah, let's head into it.
Yeah, absolutely. And of course, last time out, guys, if you missed the action last week, we did have the sprint qualifying round at the Circuit Spa-Francorchamps of the Belgian Grand Prix, and it was a absolute masterclass from Mad Jonas in the Red Bull, and Dundee picking up 2 second places also in the sprint and main race, and Legend being a guy picking up back-to-back podiums here. So the top 3 stayed the top 3 in the sprint quality and in the main race. And what that does to the championship, it means that Tam still leads the way on 134 points, ahead of Legend in second on 107. Dundee in third on 95, tied with the footman in fourth place, which is Dylan, also on 95 points. Mad Jonas in fifth on 86. 85 points for Yaham in sixth. Yogi in seventh on 84 points. Yedi Gleason in eighth on 76. 61 points for ninth place man, FPL Vettel, and TNR Langfeld rounding out the top 10 on 58 points. And I'm going to quickly go on board with the man who is going to be the first man to set a lap, FRL Charlie in that Haas car. He's on a set of the mediums, and I'm going to let Ivan now take you through a lap of the Albert Park street circuit. So over to you, Ivan.
Well, thank you for the honors. Coming out of the last corner, penultimate corner, really tricky to lock up your front left there. Coming in the last corner, opening up the DRS, blasting on the start finish straight. Now coming to Jack Brabham corner, and really important to get important exit from there, as it straight away it follows. The DRS zone follows, and you can lose quite a lot of time there. To turn 3, 4, 5, 6, a bit of a moment coming out of turn 5. That's a lap already in the bin for Charlie.
Yeah, as we got a spinner in the background, looks like a McLaren and a Red Bull getting a little bit tangled up with each other on track, but there is a McLaren in behind, and that is NSR Pariah, so I've jumped on board with him as he heads towards the turn 11-12 complex. Very difficult now, because these corners have been... it's now turn 9 and turn 10 in real life, F1.
Yeah, track became a lot faster with those changes, so hopefully we'll able to experience that in the coming game. But for now, we must live with what we have now, as Piraya completes last couple of corners, coming to 16th and last corner on track, slingshotting on start finish straight, and it's gonna be a 121.418 for a bunker lap around Australia.
And immediately beaten by Yam.
121.1. Sorry for interruption there.
Yeah, you're all good. Yaham really already setting the pace now, as we got the championship leader Tam coming towards the line, as we see Zam pop himself up into P3, Noah J into P4, but here comes Tam now to the line, the championship leader. What's it going to be? It's going to be a 1:49. I didn't even look at the time, guys, I'm not going to lie. I thought he was on a good lap.
I think he invalidated, so he just backed off, but I think maybe this is all part of Alpine's plan for now.
Yes, we got Dylan, wasn't a very rapid lap from Dylan Eva with a 26.3 on the medium tyres though, as we got Mad Jonas, last week's master class, and he gets all out of shape on the exit of turn 12 as he just clips the curb and loses the car. He keeps it out of the wall, which of course is going to be the issue for these drivers in this race. Obviously the chicane can be very costly as you can lose everything there and end up in the wall within a heartbeat.
Well, yeah, as there are multiple places on track on which if you do one slight mistake, you can you book yourself a free flight to New Zealand or to countries that surround Australia. As I think he want to start another lap, or he's just on down lap. I'm not quite sure. But even if he was on his second attempt of flying lap, I think he lost everything before the end of sector 1. Had a little bit of moment at the exit of turn 4. So
Yes, just saw Powdy there go across the line. Dylan with an improvement at 22.8. So Powdy at the moment the fastest of the medium runners. Langfell unfortunately out of the session. I believe I saw where he went off, and that was on the exit of, I believe, turn 13. I think he just got caught on the outside curb. Snap of oversteer into the wall, goes Langfell out of the session. But on board now with Charlie, the guy that we was going to go on board with a lap with in the opening few moments of qualifying, as he comes down into turn 1, taking a lot of the inside curb, using as much of the exit curb of turn 2 as possible. DRS wide open now on the run down into turn 3, where we should be seeing quite a lot of overtaking manoeuvres down the inside, around the outside, into turn 3. As we go into turn 4, that inside curb can be lethal as we go through turn 5 and now to the first sector split. So 27 flat as we go into turn 6, once again using as much of the track as possible there for Charlie as we go through turn 7 now through, I believe, 9 and 10, or is it 8 and 9? I forget with these corners, but through the chicane, as this would be a DRS straight in the real life Formula 1 for this year, but not on this game as we go through 11 and 12. And Charlie, oh, big snap, and he's able to keep it out of the wall, but you just see how lethal that curb can be through 11 and 12.
Yeah. If you didn't believe to us, and if you do Australia early, now you saw how fatal curbs can be around there. Nice save from Charlie though, as he managed to keep his car outside of the wall and possibly do a soft run, I would say, at the end of a session or close to the end of a session. As meanwhile, Sam and Jonas went on to P3 and P4 with 121.239 and 121.410. Also, Tam has went to the second.
As well, I'm on board with Dundee, who's on he was on a lap. Unfortunately, he has invalidated that lap as we got Legend to the line. I think he's made a mistake somewhere as he was 3 seconds off his lap time. We're in a bit of a quiet phase now in qualifying with 9 minutes and 20 seconds to go in the session. G-Mac about to start his lap, so we'll stay on board with the man in the Alfa Romeo as I turn around and I look at who is in the chat and who is saying what. As we got Charlie saying hi, we got Kermit with the racing flag, Roygard saying new sign in NSR Legend. That is correct, he has signed with NSR. Hopefully that brings good favours for the NSR team. As we got Langfeld saying we love this track already, didn't even start a lap, and that is unfortunate for Langfeld. He will, as long as everyone sets a lap time, he will be starting from the back in P17. Charlie saying that was too close for comfort. So the guys that are in the qualifying, hopping in the chat, letting us know what's going on, and they are really enjoying this track so far, let's see.
Well, they're already, I think, taking notes for the race. So what they should not do. This track, even in this old layout, which is used from 1996, by the way, can be enjoyable and very fun to drive if you nail it properly. As G-Mac is coming to the line now, 8 here, and he goes to P7 121.528.
Yeah, as we got Noah J in P8 coming to the end of his lap. I believe we've got a Haas up ahead, and I believe that's Charlie about to start his lap, and it is indeed. But we're on board with Noah J as he comes to the line. What's this going to be for the man in the Alpha Tower? He is a 4 tenths improvement, gets him up into P5. So Noah J there with a good lap, and look how close it is from 4th down to 6th. 8 thousandths of a second separating those 3 drivers.
Well, really close, and the F3 guys are really entertaining us at the moment with disqualifying, but hopefully that's not the end, that we'll have a good race. And yeah, it's really close. What can I say?
As Christian improves by 4 tenths, gets himself up into 7th, and gets himself into the 21.4 club as well. As Yogi, I believe, is going to back off and go for another lap. G-Mac is probably on a cool-down lap. Powdy, he is 8 tenths up as we go from the middle sector, but he is invalid. So, unfortunately, Dylan's building sandcastles off the track, and I mean, it's a good time when you try to build sandcastles, but maybe not the right time here in qualifying to be building those sandcastles, Dylan.
Well, it's certainly not a good time, but, well, it's a bit of fun. A bit of fun. I could imagine.
I mean, it was a nice sandcastle he was building, I'm not going to lie, but there's a time and a place for it, Dylan. There's a time and a place, as I'm on board with Tam as he comes to the line now. What's this going to be for the championship leader? And it's going to be provisional pole position with a 21.0. So Tam now getting close to breaking into the 1 minute 20s. Will we see anyone in the 1 minute 20s here? That is the question. Just over 5 minutes and 40 seconds to go in the session. As there it is, Mad Jonas, as I speak, 20.8 from the man in the Red Bull who took victory last time out in Belgium. And what a charge he's on.
Well, I know Jonas from the time I was at Ware. I was manager for a short time before school, and real life duties kicked in for me. And he's a very talented driver. I think he's learning to not use some assists. But once he learns it and he overcomes difficulties of switching from no assists, such as switching from using assists such as ABS and etc. I think he's just using ABS. We will have one really good driver, and we already have now, but we don't have a complete package yet.
Everything is a work in progress when it comes to F1 league racing. Is all a work in progress, as everyone will always find places where they can improve, maybe braking a little bit later, carrying more speed through the corners. There's always little bits here and there to always improve on, and of course removing assists is also one of those things that I'm presuming a lot of these guys will want to eventually do if they ever dream of making it to the major F1 esports competitions, as I'm sure a lot of these guys may be thinking about that, like, for the future, but for right now they're focused on the TTML Formula 3 Championship, as I'm on board with Dundee, who is going to start another lap. He's currently down in P14 without a lap time on the board, absolutely flies through turn 1 and 2, taking a lot of curb on the inside and getting away with it as he runs down into turn 3. DRS wide open, breaking down as he picks second gear, short shifting up into 4th and then carrying the momentum through turn 4. Now into turn 5, lovely, no lift off, flat out. Now the first sector split. It's purple in sector 1, 26.6 in the first sector as we go through 7 and 8. Now into turns 9 and 10. Very easy to lose the car here, but Dundee keeps it all in check. Remember, last time out he did finish second in Belgium. He'll be looking to go one step higher here tonight as there's a 48.5 in the middle sector. And he's still valid as we go through 11 and 12, now down towards turn 13. Oh, he's absolutely flying the car through those corners there. It looked like his back end may have stepped out slightly, but he kept it all in check. He is gliding through these corners, is Dundee, as he approaches the final corner. Is just going to challenge Mad Jonas for pole position. As DRS wide open, nothing to do now but put your foot down to the line, and it's going to be a 20.9. He misses out by just under 200ths of a second.
I think Yarham is on 9 lap. I'll come.
Yep, Yarham, oh no, as GMAC gets a fly. Oh, as Yarham's around, taking too much into the left-right chicane, and it came back and bit him in the rear end and sent him a spinning. But for Yarham, that's got to be disappointing because he was up by over a 10th and maybe could have challenged if he had enough time in the final sector to take that provisional pole position away from Mad Jonas.
Well, I think also Dundee could make it. I think he had a little bit of mistake coming to last corner. I think he had a bit of a moment. I don't know, oversteer or understeer. It was a small mistake, but even small mistakes can cost you a lot of time, as I'm now on board with Tam, championship leader, starting his another lap, coming to turn 1 and 2 and already almost losing it over the curbs.
It seems like turn 1 is causing a lot of issues for these guys. They're either taking too much curb and bottoming out the car on the curb, or they're not taking enough and just losing time on the exit. As I'm looking at a bit of a McLaren teamwork going on between the NSR drivers of Legend and Pariah. And Pariah's been given the tow, and he's still valid. And I think the man in the McLaren, the papaya orange McLaren, is going to find some time, but he has got a bit of traffic up ahead. He wants to hope that they stay out of his way, and that is Mad Jonas, who's currently on provisional pole position, and I think he's backed out.
I think that's that there was enough gap for her to finish the lap, and it was 131.198. Goes up into 5th place.
It's a Red Bull front row lockout. Where have we seen this before?
Well, I'm wondering. I'm really wondering where we've seen this before. But as we only have 2 minutes and 50 and few seconds remaining for the drivers who managed to cross the line before the original time expired to complete their laps, as Tam is, I think, on the valid lap. No, Tam is finished. I'm sorry, as Jonas on the lap, and he's slightly up on his previous time. 7th gear through turns 11 and 12. Now coming to turns 13, named after the famous Italian driver Alberto Ascari. Turns 14, named after famous British racer Jack Stewart. Coming to 15 and 16 now. On the start finish straight, opens the arrest across the line. It's going to be pole position for Jonas.
Mad Jonas here. We just saw 3 improvements in a row there. Dylan getting himself up in the P8, Noah J improving the P6, and then Mad Jonas putting it on pole position as I believe the next man across the line. Actually, I think that's session over and done with, unless not Legend's not on a lap either. Yep, that's the session over and done with, unless Zam is on a flyer, and he's not. So, yep, it's a Red Bull front row lockout. Mad Jonas ahead of Zam.
Legend's backing off. That's it, I think.
Yep, that is it for the end of qualifying here in TTML Formula 3 for round number 7 at the Australian Grand Prix. It is Mad Jonas who takes pole position with a 20.6, 2 times clear of his teammate Zam in second place, who will join him on that front row. Is a Red Bull front row lockout. Dundee continuing his fine form as he qualifies in P3 with a 20.9 ahead of the championship leader Tam in 4th, who will join him on that second row. Then of course we got Yaham in 5th, Noah J in 6th, Pariah in 7th, Dylan in 8th, OWR Christian in 9th, and Yogi rounding out the top 10. Then unfortunately in 11th and 12th we got Legend and GMAC, who both have 5 place grid penalties, so they'll be dropping down the order, which means Powdy, Appledorn, Stevie, Langfell, and I believe Charlie may start 16th instead of 17th, but yeah, that's what is going to happen in the race. Legend and GMAC, obviously the 5 place grid penalties, not good for them to start this race, but the good news is that they will have free choice of tyre compound, and it is pretty overcast, so could we be seeing some changeable conditions here in the race?
Well, we know that we don't know anything, so I think if it's going to change, if the conditions are going to change from dry to wet, I think one of our drivers who are racing today will let us know in the chat. But looking at the weather, it could be really possible, but we'll have to wait and see.
Yeah, absolutely. As we wait and see what the drivers are going to be saying in regards to the race. In fact, we got Charlie saying it's going to be a dry all race, just very cloudy. Now, on this game, that could very well be the case, but also, you know, if there's clouds there, there's still a chance that it can spit some rain down, and it may not go to intermediates, it may not go to those wet compound tyres, but there could be little spats of rain here and there as we look at the tyre selection outside of the top 10. So Powdy going for a set of the mediums, as does Appledorn. Stevie, the only man outside the top 10, going for a set of the soft tyres, and he is ghosting on my screen. Has Stevie G lagged out of the session by any chance?
I did not see him leaving. Maybe he left, but we just didn't notice. But I did not see him leaving, or maybe that's another trick from F1 2021 sleeve when it comes to bugs. But yeah, I think we'll also have to wait and see what's going on with Steve.
Yeah, so quickly gonna have a look and see if Stevie is in the chat. I mean, if he's in the chat and he's listening right now, I think he knows the rules well enough that he has to rejoin after the formation lap has concluded, so he may be able to get back in his car, but time will tell us. These guys come towards the end of the formation lap now to take their grid positions, and I'm going to come to you based on qualifying. I know you haven't seen much of Formula 3 this season, but who would you throw down as your top 3 for this race?
Well, my prediction, I'm going with Jonas, Sam, and Xam. any order.
Interesting stuff. I am going to say Mad Jonas for the victory with Tam in second place, and I'm going to throw a curveball out there. I'm going to say Yaham to jump on the podium, and as we go to those 5 red lights, who's going to get the best jump off the line? And Yogi gets a drive-through penalty, and I was actually going to say Yogi as a potential candidate for a podium, but I'm glad I didn't, as he does pick up that drive-through penalty. That would have been very commentator curse-esque if I had done that, as we got Dylan dropping down the order as Noah J squeezes him out as they run down into turn 3. Oh, Dylan's gone for the double lunge on Pariah as well, and is he able to pull that off? If he does, that's an absolute fantastic move, very opportunistic, and he does pull it off. Dylan with a double dive bomb into turn 3 gets 2 positions for the price of 1.
Well, really good stuff from Dylan as I'm watching Legende. Obviously coming back to the field after starting from the back, and Jim and J-Mac went to side by side going into turn 4, as we have Bodhi being forced off, or he just went off track into Clark chicane, so turns 9 and 10, and that allowed Legenda to pick up the place as CVG has rejoined the session.
Yeah, so Stevie G will now be able to take control of his car, as I believe Noah J may have a bit of damage. He's been absolutely swamped by everyone, and is he going to peel off into the pits? Yes, he is. And I don't know about you, as Yogi getting the car stopped to an absolute crawl coming into the pits, as Noah, they're trying to take a little bit of avoiding action. We've got G-Mac, Charlie and Langfeld scrapping out for P10. What I was going to say, the track does have a little bit of a sheen to it. I don't know if you're noticing that on the broadcast camera.
I'm not noticing it.
It looks like it's got a bit of a sheen to it, so I wouldn't put it past potentially seeing some rain at some point in this race, as obviously Mad Jonas now beginning to try and break away from Zam in second place. 8 tenths is the gap. Dundee's doing his best to keep up with the Red Bulls. Tam appears to be dropping off slightly and falling into the clutches of Yaham. Dylan, after that beautiful double dive bomb into turn 3, he's trying to keep with the top 5, but he's outside DRS range, and Pariah and Christian are there and will fight him. That I can assure you.
Yeah, as drivers must be careful also about the track limit penalties, as this can be really harsh on them at certain places, as already some time penalties start to kick in, as GMAC has already 6 seconds of time penalties and CVG has 3 seconds of time penalties.
I'm pretty sure Stevie's time penalty may be a bit of a glitch with him rejoining the session. I don't know for sure, but I have a feeling that could be the case.
We have Christian Charlie's out.
Oh wow.
Out of turn 4.
That's a virtual safety car. As I'm on board with Yogi just to see what has happened there. Looks like he's lost it on the exit of turn 4, and yep, there is his car in the wall and out of the race. And looking at the Discord chat, he is very much frustrated, as Yaham picks up a 3-second time penalty under the VSC, so that's very sloppy there from Yaham picking up a time penalty under safety car conditions. Just getting word with what happened with Stevie G. Apparently his PlayStation turned off, so that's the reason why he ended up out of the session. He has rejoined now, and we'll see how he gets on. But for Stevie, it's going to be a long old race to try and crawl himself back up towards the front, and with the soft runners already breaking away from the medium runners, it's going to be even more difficult for him.
practice as we are back to racing again. As we saw another spinner.
Dylan
Right.
has lost it on the exit of turn 2. I'm not sure contact or whether he lost it on the curves, but Dylan is around and falls all the way down to P14. So Dylan, a major casualty here in tonight's race, as Pariah now has a bit of free air to kind of push into to see if he can close up to Yaham, and Christian. He's out of that DRS range, so a bit of breathing space now for Pariah to really focus up and try and close back up to these guys.
Well, yes, it has quite a lot of space, as Yaham is all the way.
Oh, is that Christian?
Behind him.
Christian's around. He's lost it for 11 and 12.
I think that's front wing gone. Maybe. I'm not sure yet. Front wing gone. So that's really poor start of the race for Autori drivers.
Yeah, absolutely. As just saw Langfeld go for a move on Appledorn. So up into P7 goes TNR Langfeld, and Langfeld, after crashing out early in qualifying, he's trying to make up for it here in the race, as we've got G-Mark on the back of Appledorn's going to have a little peek down the inside. Thinks better of it and doesn't get the exit he needs. That's going to allow Legend now, he's going to have the run. Is he going to go to the inside? Is he going to go for 2 for 1 like what we saw earlier? No, he's going to just go for G-Mark and get that move done. Meanwhile, Dundee and Mad Jonas, in fact Zam got past Mad Jonas as well. So Mad Jonas drops from first down into third, as both Dundee and Zam gets into first and second place respectfully.
Well, we might see some front driver right now, as I think here at the best of conditions, those softs can last around 10 laps around here. I didn't go Australia in a while, so my data is not that much sizable. I think it's around 10 laps, the limit to softs can go. So I think drivers go start struggling with them a little bit now.
Well, we'll have to wait and see.
Appledorn or B8.
Yep, and Stevie gets the move done on G-Mark as well, so a double overtake into that corner there. Stevie getting past G-Mark and Legend getting past Appledorn. That's allowed Langfeld to kind of break away from the rest of the medium runners. Oh, G-Mark's around.
No damage as far as I can see. Needs to be extra careful here, as Yoga is coming. Very high speed, but luckily, start-finish straight is wide enough, despite being a straight circuit. Start-finish straight is wide enough for 2 cars to avoid making a contact when this sort of situation happens.
Well, this will be an interesting thing to keep an eye on. Obviously, looking at the time gap between Zam and the medium runners, it's holding around 12.5 seconds, as we've got Dundee now over the back of Zam. If these guys on the softs start the fight, it's going to make the jobs of those on the medium tyres that much easier come later in the race, because they'll just be able to strap on the set of the softs and not have to do as much work to close up, as we got Powdy and Dylan there trading positions. Dylan trying to come back through the field after the spin he had earlier on, which of course dropped him down towards the back end, as we've got Stevie all over the back of Appledorn. He's trying to get past on those soft tyres. Is he going to be able to get the Ferrari down into turn 1, or will he go for it into turn 3? That is the question, as Appledorn does not have DRS to the car ahead, as here comes Stevie. He's actually not going to go for it, as we got Legend on the back of Langfeld now. This is for P7. We could be seeing 2 overtakes, and Langfeld doesn't even fight it. He just gets out of the way, gets off the throttle, and he's going to try and use Legend now to try and get through, as Appledorn able to hold off Stevie, but he just doesn't have the confidence and the traction that Stevie has, and Stevie's getting held up massively, and that's going to put him under pressure now from Dylan in behind. So the battle for P9 starting to heat up between these 3 drivers. Well, 4 including Powdy.
Well, I think Steve will wish we are racing on 2022 layout right now, but because it could be much easier to overtake for him. But also now Dylan is getting held between pair of them, so this is literally turned into a train of cars battling for P9.
Yeah, absolutely. As Dylan, he's closing up. He clearly has the pace to get past these guys, but he just hasn't had the opportunity to get past either of them as of yet. And well, soon enough, the strategy is going to have to come into play. When does the soft runners bite the bullet and come into the pits? That's going to be the main question as we are on lap 8 of 29. The top 5 still training together as we got Zam leading Dundee, leading Mad Jonas, leading Sam, leading Yaham. As I believe Stevie's just got through on Appledon, and here goes Dylan now as he's going to go clean past as well. Yeah, and Powdy, there's a little bit of contact there between Appledon and Powdy as Powdy manages to squeeze his way through. So in the space of 2 DRS strays, Appledon goes from P9 down to P12.
Well, he was kind of a back marker for them. Of course, he was not back marking like in a typical way, but obviously he was holding up the field from P10 onwards before they got.
Yeah, as the top 5 still train away as Tam's going to make the jump, and so is Yaham. They're going to go for the undercut here at the end of lap 8 and almost there. Yaham going into the back of Sam, unfortunately for him.
Right in the pits as well.
Yep, Pariah in, obviously following these guys. Going to be trying to gain something back on these soft runners. The question is, will they come out in traffic?
Oh, as the Legenda had a moment coming out of turn 2. You have yellow flag in sector 1.
Oh, Stevie's around.
Christian's also, I think, round.
Oh no, everything's going wrong today for not only Alpha Tauri but for the Mercedes as well. As Stevie's gone around. I think Yogi picked up his drive through. I don't think he's gone around yet, but he's definitely had a lot of work to do, as Noah, Jay and Christian definitely had their issues today also. So not a good day for those two constructors, as Yogi picks up a 3-second time penalty, just adding to the misery of what I was just talking about. And now as we approach the end of lap 9, do Zam, Dundee and Mad Jonas respond? That is the question, as they stay out. And I'm going to look at this gap at Sam and the race leader and see if the gap is closing in. It is closing in, but it's not closing in rapidly, as Sam is about 23.6 seconds behind the race leader right now.
Well, but maybe the two Red Bulls and Dundee know something we don't about weather conditions. But if it's going to stay dry for the entire race, I think they're doing a slight mistake by delaying the pit stop. Because obviously, with the more time they stay on track, Tam, who came out in clean air, just to say, is gaining more of them, and undercut on this game is really powerful. So, and of course, we shouldn't forget the fact that two Red Bulls will need to either double stack if they manage to create enough gaps somehow, or one of them will need to stay one lap longer, what can possibly ruin his race. Oh.
Yeah, absolutely, as the Red Bulls will have to double stack if they both decide to come into the pits at the end of this lap. And are we going to see anyone into the pits? No, we're not. Everyone's staying out. Now, this is the question I'm asking. Obviously, Tam, Yaham and Pariah, they've jumped in. They've bit the bullet. They've done it for the undercut, to get track position, to get ahead. are the likes of Zam, Dundee and Mad Jonas potentially waiting for a virtual safety car or a full course safety car to make that pit stop, or are they thinking stretch these softs out as long as possible, go into a set of fresh mediums and have fresher tyres to really put these guys under pressure towards the end of the race? That's the question, though.
Yeah, that is a really good question. Well, in most of cases like this, we see drivers in front who did not pull the trigger first. When it comes to pit stops, are waiting for safety car and or virtual safety car to basically get one pit stop for free and to not lose as much time as they will do if they did under racing conditions. Also, maybe they stretching out because rain is still not completely out of play. If we look at the conditions,
and here we go, top two in. Mad Jonas sticks it out as he doesn't want to double stack with his teammate. So Zam and Dundee are into the pits, and now we'll see how crucial that undercut was from Tam and Yaham.
I'm going on board with Tam. I think Tam might get them. Get them.
Yep, they're going to get ahead. In fact, Zam is... Oh, contact with Yaham! Yaham, what is he doing? Obviously, Zam is there following the pit lane exit, and Yaham has... Oh, he's made contact with Dundee.
It's again really close. I'm really not thinking about the consequences there, in my opinion.
In my opinion, then, just from what I saw, that Yaham, he's just immediately took the racing line. Like, there isn't a car coming out of the pit lane on his right that's going to be at the apex. You've got to leave the room. Like, all the time you have to leave the room.
Well, as one said 10 years ago in Bahrain, all the time you have to leave the space. As Tam is now making one for the 4x4 as Jonas went to the pits.
And I think so Yaham has damage now as he's dropping back massively. The question is, does Dundee and Zam, do they have like side pod damage or something now?
I think that depends on damage level the steer uses. I think
well, Mad Jonas now into turn one as... That's how it's done. Zam gives him the room on the inside. That's how it's done. But Mad Jonas comes out in a net P3. So that little kerfuffle there with Yaham, Dundee and Zam cost Dundee a position, a position on Mad Jonas. And Tam now has clear reign now to try and pull away and get this victory. And we may have to see the Red Bulls working as a team to close back up, as here goes Zam around the outside of Powdy as Mad Jonas closes up drastically there into the braking zone, but Powdy able to get on the traction. Meanwhile, in behind us, Apple, is that Appledon? No, it's Pariah. Pariah's around.
Well, safety car. For some reason we have a safety car.
Oh.
Pariah with no wing. So this has really helped to Langland and Langhill.
I'll tell you what, Mad Jonas is absolutely kicking himself. He's just come out of the pits on those mediums. If he had stayed out one lap extra, he would have got the safety car pit stop.
Well, that's that factor of luck. That's that element of luck. We often see in league racing with those safety cars and virtual safety cars. Sometimes you actually nail the point you need to pit. You need to pit, and basically safety car comes out right after. And so, right before you go into pit, and sometimes you just pit and then as soon as you come out of bed, someone causes some problems on track with what results in safety car. What happened to Jonas today? But, yeah, it's what it is.
Yeah, and a very interesting difference in strategy for the end of this race. Legend and Langfeld going on a set of the soft tyres. We got Powdy and Appledon going on a set of the hard, so going for the safe option to get to the end. GMAC going on the softs, Pariah going on softs, fresh mediums on Stevie G and Noah's car, fresh softs on Yaham's car, and fresh mediums on Christian's car. And with all these different strategies coming out, different tyre compounds, it makes for a very interesting safety car restart. And can Tam, Zam, Mad Jonas and Dundee, can they keep off the threat of Legend and Langfeld on those fresh soft tyres? And the same goes to like Powdy and Appledon. Will they be able to keep the guys behind them on those white wool tyres? I don't know, but we're going to have to wait and see, guys.
Well, definitely it's going to be an interesting restart.
As Roygard is in the chat right now saying that Pariah touched the grass on the inside and spun around, so that's what happened with Pariah. Honestly,
he braked like onto grass. Then in that case,
I think he's clipped it.
Easily happen.
I think he's just clipped it. He's clipped the grass on the exit. He's put his foot down to try and get the traction out the corner, and on the grass it doesn't work. Yeah, again, Yaham picked up a penalty under safety car conditions. This is very sloppy stuff from Yaham.
Well, but about the things you're saying about the strategies. Yes, it's going to be tough for Dundee, Jonas, Sam, and Tam to fall on under the attacks of the Legenda and Langfield, because Legenda and Langfield really showed that they have good race pace, and their pace was really good, medium tires for I think usually around second or so slower than softs, so it's going to be really interesting. But also we stop like Jonas and Sam Tam. And also Dundee have a pretty good pace throughout this evening, so we'll see how it goes. We know that we don't know anything.
Unfortunately, I was going to make a joke in the comment section, but I forgot I was on the wrong channel to make a joke, so I quickly retracted that. I'll jump on my YouTube account now to make the joke. I do apologize. Right, I was making a joke in the chat now for NSR.
I did not hear that part because I accidentally decreased the sound on my headphones.
Alright, there we go. I'm on the right account now. Like to have a bit of fun and games for people in the comments chat.
So it's nice to have a bit of fun on stream, I guess. We cannot be serious all the time.
I mean, we can.
Yeah, we can, but it won't be that much funny. It won't be.
I mean, people when they hear Ivorbrim Mike on the comms, they do kind of expect a little bit of banter and here and there, which is always good.
That's good, yeah. That's good. It's always good to have a little bit of banter. No matter if you're just watching the race on YouTube or Twitch and or on Twitch, and just
speaking
comment in the chat.
Actually, now you've mentioned it, speaking of Twitch, guys, Formula 2 is currently going on right now on twitch.tv / was it the Masters League? Is the Twitch account? Pretty sure.
I think it should be.
Let me quickly fact check that. As we are under the safety car conditions, as quickly have a peek. Yep, safety car is in this lap, so everyone will be gearing up and getting themselves underway as we wait. Yep, the Masters League on twitch.tv is the channel where Formula 2 is going on right now, with James had taken you for the action with Storm Kings in the commentary box also. So make sure you guys pop on over and show them guys some love. But make sure you come back here, because the safety car restart is about to get underway as Tam backs up the pack. And we wait to go racing once again. When does Tam decide to go? That is the question. And he's gone now, and he's almost caught Zam napping there somewhat, as Zam's tried to respond and has been caught out just slightly, as we are back racing once again under green flag conditions on lap 17 of 29.
I think Steve went to the pits. Maybe got some damage. Yep, damage front wing.
Oh, it's heartbreaking for Stevie, as I believe we saw G-Mac getting past Powdy there. Powdy on those hard tyres. There's not going to be a huge amount he can do. He just doesn't have the pace in those tyres to really combat these softs and mediums this early into this stint. As Dylan there, absolute Tokyo drift through turn number 5 there. Again, all sideways through the corner, but able to hold it there. So good going from
made a move in the Clark chicane. Turns 9 and 10, but he was a little bit too far off Dundee.
Yeah, as we saw Pariah picking up a 3-second time penalty as well. Now, this is where Legend should use his advantage on the soft tyres, but he just doesn't get the run that he needs out of turns 11 and 12. And Dundee's got a fairly decent one on Mad Jonas, but once DRS is activated again, the question is, will Tam be able to hold off these guys from behind? We saw what happened earlier in the race. The DRS just made it impossible to break away from the train. Now these guys
coming out of Canada has a really good momentum, and use that extra grip of tires compared to Dundee mediums. But
that's a warning.
Come on.
Yeah, that's going to be a warning for Legend. They cut completely across turn 1, and I think has hurt his chance down into turn 3 just by taking too much of the curb. But with those soft tyres, he is going to need to make these positions. He's going to need to make them pretty quick. As the longer it goes, the more it's going to benefit those on the mediums up ahead.
Well, surely, because obviously softs, they are the fastest tire, but they do wear out quicker. As now Dundee, with holding up Legend, he's doing a favor to his teammate Langkill, who can actually trying to catch up to Legend once again. But now this is really turning into the DRS train between Madionas, Dundee, and Legende, with no one being able to pass the car ahead.
Well, Legend needs a good run here. Good run out of the final corner, and he may have just had it, but he hasn't got the drive out of the corner that Dundee has, so that will probably save Dundee down in towards turn 1. But let's see what the run is going to be like through turns. Oh, Legend goes wide as we got a spinner in the background. That is Noah J.
Well. No, oh, that's Noah J. I thought it was Christian for some reason, but yeah, it's Noah J. So misery is continuing for AlphaTauri tonight, it seems. Really unfortunate for them, but league racing and then 2021 can be cruel sometimes.
Yep, absolutely. Stevie G sets a new fastest lap of the race, so that's his target for the rest of the race. Unless another safety car comes out, Stevie will probably be looking at that fastest lap point and thinking he wants that extra point. Now, Legend on the back of Dundee, he definitely has the pace to get through. He just needs the good run out of the corner that he needs to really
But
mount an attack on Dundee, but he's just not getting these runs, and he's wasting the potential of these soft tires right now as Yogi gets through on Powdy for P9. So a good move there for the man in the Mercedes. Will go back up towards the front. Legend getting also close to the back of that Williams of Dundee as come down the start, finish straight to start, lap 20 out of 29. Will we see any overtakes into turn 3 as GMAC gets through on Dylan?
Well, turn 3, if it was the new configuration, it would be possible, but now with this tighter version of corner, the original version is really tough if you're not really close to the car ahead. So, seems unlikely, but it's not impossible, as Dundee is really catching up to Jonas, who is closing up on Zam. So this is really...
Oh, here we go, Legend. Legend's got the run. He's going to look around the outside.
Oh, bit of grass.
Can he get the run now on Dundee? He would have got the car straightened up. He needs a good turn 11 and 12 here to really put Dundee under pressure. As he picks up a 3-second time penalty, that is not the run that he needed.
Well, we saw that he was doing a bit of mistakes as Dundee is now really close to Madionas, but Madionas had PRS from Sam ahead, so he was able to defend from that potential attempt of an overtake from Dundee, but we are far from over. This is far from over.
Yogi's around. It's gone from bad to worse for the Mercedes team, and now Mercedes and AlphaTauri are having an absolute nightmare here in Melbourne, as both constructor teams are all the way down towards the bottom of the field.
But I think we need to go back this train from P1 to P6.
Oh, P8 now, as GMAC and Dylan has closed up on it.
Yep, but GMAC is really, I would say, out of play here because of time penalties collection he got earlier, but he'll probably fight for bragging rights on track. Now, as Dundee is really close to Madionas and Legend is really close to both of them.
We're going to see any overtakes here, as no, they stay single file, almost pushing each other through the corner, nose to tail there, as we come into the final few corners of this lap. Dundee definitely looks like he's got the pace to get past Mad Jonas, but he just can't get that final bit of top end speed just to get past him into the braking zones, as Legend still behind on those soft tyres, and they will begin to fall away as Dylan picks up a 3-second time penalty. Noah J with a 3-second time penalty, and for Langfeld sitting in behind, he's being patient. He knows he's going to get the jump on Legend with the time penalties, and those in behind him he also knows has time penalties as well, so he's not going to be feeling much of a threat from those behind. But he doesn't want to be isolated here for too long, because GMAC and Dylan will do their best to try and get themselves up the order.
No, Jay's out of the session. Could this bring another
safety car? Nope, yellow flag in sector 3. Will we see...
Yellow flag for now. Turns 11 and 12.
Will we see a safety car? Will we see a virtual?
Picks up a 3-second penalty as well.
Wow.
Well,
I just had
I think everyone will box for softs right now. Sorry for interruption there, but regarding the amount of racing laps we'll get, I think everyone's going to box for softs now. Sam is in the pits, Sam stays out, so does Jonas, down into the pits. Legenda stays out.
I'm just going to say now, I just had the biggest lag spike I have ever seen as we went past Noah J's car, and it was actually something very special. But as you mentioned, yeah, Tam in the pits, Dundee in the pits, Dylan, G-Mark, Yaham, everyone in the pits apart from the top 5. Now the question is this a mistake from the likes of Tam and Dundee coming into the pits for a fresh set of tyres? Because we've seen how difficult it is to overtake around here, and there's 5 cars they need to overtake to take a win here tonight.
Well, with the field bunching up, Tam and Dundee came out on track in the clean air, and with the fact that 3 out of 5 guys ahead have time penalties, so they can already get top 4 and podium possibly. Do they know something we don't know? They got told by their engineers or teammates that maybe 2 of the Red Bulls have time penalties that could really change the race again.
Honestly, so, I reckon the Red Bulls have played this very intelligently by staying out on those tyres, because sure, Tam and Dundee will have the pace on those fresh softs, but it doesn't matter because there's going to be so many cars in between them and not enough laps to really get the Red Bulls. And that is going to be the key thing. Like, how much of a fight is Legend, Langfell and Pereira going to put up for Tam Dundee? Like, how much of a fight are these guys going to put up? Tam and Dundee will want these guys to get out the way ASAP, and I don't think they will. I think they'll fight for absolutely everything they got to not drop further down the field. As you see, 3-second time penalty right there for Legend, for Langfell, for Pereira. If Tam or Dundee pick up a 3-second time penalty, they're battling for position, and I don't think they're going to want to give that up.
Yeah, so they should really watch out on track limits, because if they pick up a time penalty, for them it's game over. There is no chance that they can get a win or P2 finish. But also we saw on the Legends example, also on Langfield's example, that as you said, having the quickest starter doesn't necessarily give the position straight away, because Legend was all over the back on Dundee for those couple of laps before this second safety car of the evening, but he was never so close or close enough to get that move stick. So it is tricky. So we'll see what happens.
Yeah, exactly. And obviously the safety car's just gone past the second sector split now. We're waiting for Christian to catch on to the back of the pack. If the safety car stays out for the next lap, it makes the job of Tam and Dundee's even more difficult, because they are literally going to have to get the perfect restart and try and get through these guys ASAP, because if they want any hope of taking the win here, they realistically need to get through these guys within the first 2 laps.
The safety car goes in this lap, quite late call, but Christian has managed to catch up on time for FIA to that safety car goes in. As now question is, when does Sam go? He's waiting still.
And he's gone now.
And now he goes. As he caught up Jonas on the seat.
As you goes Dundee, he's having a look at Sam. Oh, Sam almost goes into the back of Prayer. I think he has hit the back of Prayer. Absolutely pushing the car.
Turns 1 and 2. Sam coming to turn 3. Will Prayer try and make a move. On Langhill he wants that. Sam tries to go around the outside.
And Dundee's involved now. These guys are absolutely trying to force their way through. And G-Mac, Yogi, Christian, Appledon, Dylan's around. What a chaotic restart. Back up towards the front though. Tam on the back of Pereira.
Dundee
and Dundee's there. Oh, this is
Going
so
to
close.
Clarky K9s, and then they're almost out. Your time is almost off track.
And Yarham's in the mix. Oh my god.
Tom has lost everything. Maybe Dundee should leave it a little bit of more room, or Tom pull back out. We will never know, but now Dundee has a chance to get Piraya for P5.
Here goes Tam. He's all over the back of Yarham. Oh, he's hit the back of the Aston Martin. I think that might be wing damage now for Tam.
Well, let me check. I cannot see.
Yep, that's wing damage. He's in. Oh, I think that's deliberate. That looked deliberate there. As we got Dundee going for a move on Pariah, and I think you'll have to give that position back as the virtual safety car was called.
Yogi, 5-second penalties, circulation with Appledorn. Safety car. This has earned a full safety car. With 3 laps to go. So we'll have at least 1 lap of racing. Oh, I don't know if this was caused by Tam.
Yeah, so I mean, we caught it on stream. That looked deliberate from Sam. Obviously speculation, but on our end it looked deliberate, and it has caused a safety car. I personally don't know what to make of it. I think the stewards will be deliberating on this after the race, and whether it was deliberate or not. But what this has done is showed the genius the Red Bulls in staying out.
Now I think only Miracle will give Legend or anyone behind him the win.
Well, Dundee has the best opportunity to win, but he's not going to have the laps to really do anything about it. As see, Dylan is trying to catch up to the back of the pack. He's half a lap behind in the middle of sector 2. As we've got a couple of guys into the pits in Podon and Yogi, so they're giving up a bit of track position for a couple of laps fresher tyres, and we'll see how that fares for him. But a very interesting turn of events, I see.
Well, it is. So we'll have only 1 proper lap of racing. Well, 2 if we count the lap 28 and 29. But what a plot twist of this race! How much drama happened during these 29 laps? I never saw anything similar to this.
Yeah, absolute drama as we come to the latter stages of this race. Throughout most of this race, it's been Zam, Mad Jonas, Dundee, and Tam, and Yarham throughout most of the first half of this race that have been leading the way, but Yarham going around, I believe he picked up damage or something, having to come into the pits. It's a safety car is coming in this lap. It has been the 2 Red Bulls, Dundee and Tam, who have been at the front throughout most of this race, and it looks like the strategy's come into play with the safety cars, and the Red Bulls have got it right. Meanwhile, Dundee and Tam got it slightly wrong.
Well, they tried to do something different. They thought they'll gain advantage, but absolutely went absolute disaster for them at the end. As again waiting, I think he'll again go very late. And
yeah, and he's allowed.
And he goes Jonas sleeping again. Legend is alongside him almost.
Legend actually backs out into turn 1 as
we'll see Team Morris at Williams. I'm wondering because yep. As soon as I speak,
Yarham gets through on Pereira, so does Stevie. So Pereira dropping down the order. team orders there from the Williams drivers. Langfeld being given the move. The call, Dundee is faster than you, and he's jumped straight out the way. Now Dundee on the back of Legend. If he can get this move done, Dundee has a chance to maybe pick up the win here. And he's got such a run. He's got such a run. And who's that coming down the order? That's Yaham down towards the back as he's down the inside now. Again. Dundee into P3 goes Dundee. And now he's got two aging medium tyres up ahead. The two Red Bulls. And Mar Jonas probably won't be too happy with Zam, because Zam looked like he really backed Mar Jonas into the wall, so to speak, on the restart, catching Mar Jonas at the worst possible moment. But Dundee, he has one more lap to get this win. Can he do it? He's on 5-lap-old soft tyres. He's got the tyre advantage, and he's got the grip advantage. He's all over the back of Mar Jonas, and Mar Jonas's red light is flashing. Dundee up in the second.
As Dundee's now has Zam right ahead of him. Zam can see him in his mirrors.
Are we going to see Dundee take the victory on the last lap of this race? Lap 29 of 29 is Zam versus Dundee. It is 17-lap-old medium tyres versus 6-lap-old soft tyres. The gap is 0.2 of a second. Dundee is pushing absolutely everything, and so is Zam, as Mar Jonas is looking like he's going to have to settle for P3, as Dundee, he's all over the back of the Red Bull. This is going to be so close between these two.
Around here, down the inside. No, hitting better over.
Oh, contact!
Contact.
Oh, and they both take each other out. Oh my god. Oh, wow.
Steve goes into the turn. What on earth has happened here?
Oh my god.
What a race. What on earth has happened here?
Mar Jonas is going to cross the line to take victory here in Australia, but in the most controversial fashion. Dundee and Zam come together on the final lap in the final sector to wipe each other out.
Christian takes podium after 2 spins.
Legend gets second place. Christian, who's been at the back for most of this race, comes home in P3. Unbelievable stuff here in Formula 3 for TTML. Legend gets driver of the day. Probably a great shout for driver of the day, but oh my god.
What a... I think now Red Bull had everything in their bag, and now it's at the end bittersweet for them. Because obviously now one of their drivers won the race, and one driver from their sister team actually had catastrophic race for most of the race. Actually got a podium, so it didn't look... At the end, it's not that bad for AlphaTauri. But what an ending.
What an ending indeed. And we'll see, with Legend getting that second place, that's 25 points for him. That puts him 2 points behind Tam in the Drivers' Championship. If the positions stay as it is, Mar Jonas will jump ahead of Dylan and Dundee will not be happy with the Red Bull of Zamba. We'll run you through the order. Is Mar Jonas taking victory ahead of Legend in second, Christian in third, Appledorn in fourth, Powdy in fifth, Pariah in sixth, Stevie G in seventh, Dylan in eighth, Yogi in ninth, G-Mac in 10th, Langfeld in 11th, Yaham in 12th, and then our non-finishers Dundee, Zam, Tam, Noah J and Charlie, with the fastest lap of the race going to the man in P7, which is Stevie G. And that is some quick recapping right there, as we have to now we have to pick who our driver of the day is. Now, it's a simple choice between two drivers for me. Actually, it's a simple choice between three drivers for me. So there's Legend coming from P17 to P2, which incredible stuff. There's Mad Jonas, who didn't put a foot wrong. Maybe stayed out a bit too long on the first stint, but apart from that, didn't put a foot wrong. Or there's Christian, who had the most chaotic race of his life, going down towards the back end so many times and somehow finding his way up on the podium. And that is going to be the interesting call. I mean, I'm going to leave it to you. Who do you reckon deserves driver of the day out of those three?
Well, it's, as you said, it's a really tough choice. But I think I'll go for Jonas. Yeah, he did that one small mistake, but he made up for it. He was in control of the race all the time, and yeah, he won on controversy. But I think when he saw that, he was maybe laughing a little bit in his helmet because he maybe thought Karma struck his team exam, who left him behind on the restart, who didn't do much of a teamwork on the restart. But yeah, Jonas, I mean, any of the three deserves it, but I think I'll give it to Jonas for this race.
Okay, I mean, I am happy with any of those three choices. You're going to go with Mad Jonas. I'm going to agree with you with Mad Jonas. But obviously, massive credit to Legend and Christian for making their way for the field. Obviously, Legend up to P2 and Christian showing why you should never give up in a league race. No matter how bad things go, you can always come back and get a big result out of it. So credit Christian for having that mentality. But that will be the end of tonight's stream here for Formula 3. Make sure you guys tune in tomorrow on twitch.tv/The Masters League, where not only will you see me drive, you'll also get to see Ivan drive as Formula 4 takes to the streets of Melbourne as we go racing in Albert Park. And that is going to be a very interesting one, especially considering what we've seen here tonight. But until then, guys, I have been Ivan Mike. He has been Ivan, and we shall see you next week for... Well, actually, no, not next week. We have a break week next week. So we'll see you in a fortnight's time for round number 8, which will be at Imola. So the Emilia Romagna. I've absolutely butchered it, but Joe, we're gonna roll with it. We're gonna be back for round number 8 in Imola in 2 weeks' time. So until then, guys, have a cracking evening, and we'll see you again.